folks, today I'd like to walk you through Flipgrid. So we're going to go to the Flipgrid website and we're going to go to Educator Login. Here you can log in with your Google account or you can create a personal account. Flipgrid is awesome because it allows you to amplify your students' voices. When you log into Flipgrid, you're going to notice there are several different options up here on your toolbar. You can check out your activity. You can also check out your grids. Now, I recommend creating a grid for every course that you teach. You can also create a mixtape, which we'll talk about later, and even connect with other people from around the world. So I'm going to start with my grids. As I'm scrolling down here, you can see that these are the different courses that I teach. On a grid, you've got your name, the flip code, which is what students will use to access your grid, and it tracks your activities and when it was last updated. You can easily share a grid with students. You can also add co-pilots or co-teachers. You can edit the grid at any time, and you can delete the grid. Here's the edit button over here. Now, this is my teacher view. If I want to go into student view, I can click on the flip code. Here it's going to ask me to log in again if I'm looking from the student perspective. And this is what students would see on your particular grid. I'm going to start by adding a grid here. Now I can name it whatever I want to name it. I can use a school email as their ID or how students log in. I can also make it public. Teaching at the college level, you might want to make it public just so that students have the ability to log in with any account that they want to log in with. I personally often choose school, and then I hit next. And now when you use school, that means you have to have a very specific domain. So at clcillinois.edu could be the domain that you use with your students. And now I'm ready to begin working with my grid. Once inside your grid, then you can create topics. When you think of a topic, I want you to think of it as an assignment. So for example, if I was doing a discussion on Chapter 1 and then later in the semester I was doing a discussion on Chapter 3, I would make them separate topics. They give you this introduction topic, which you could use, or I often just revise it and delete it. Once inside a topic, you can rename it. You can also select how long the videos are. Depending on your assignment, you can go up to 5 minutes. I often leave it at 2 minutes or less. Oftentimes, students do not take the entire time. So down here, our prompt is where we would put the directions. You can type these out. I like to post specific questions in here, and I can even have a focus or have some sort of media that helps my students out. So I'm going to delete this example, and oftentimes I create a video. So when I'm asking my students to create videos, I'm going to create one as well. So I'm just going to hit the record button right here. When I'm done recording, I'm going to hit this blue next button. It's going to play back for me. I'll hit next again, and now I can take my picture. So students love to get super silly and goofy with this. You can put stickers all over it. I'm going to cover my mid-talking face here and go next. And then that will be shown to students. So I like to put my questions here in the prompt so that way students can see my video, they can get introduced to me, and then they'll be responding via video. You can add all these details. I often skip these details. Here, the topic status, video moderation. If you don't want students to see the video until a certain point, you're going to want to turn on video moderation. That means you have to approve the post. I often just leave this blank. Status, make it active. If it is frozen or hidden, that means students either won't be able to add to it or they won't be able to see it at all. So I leave it on active. You can put specific due dates if you want. Again, I usually don't add to this. And then you can allow them to create videos only. I like to include the selfie. The selfie is that picture at the end that personalizes it and allows students to create a tile when they're sharing out their videos. You can have them like different videos, or you can turn that off. You can look at view count. So again, there's lots of features that you can take a look at. Feedback. This becomes really important. If you want to include a rubric, it allows you to customize and build your own rubric. You can add your own criteria. Oftentimes I do basic feedback, and I will walk you through that in just a second. Now that my assignment is ready and my topic is done, I'm going to click the share button, and I can copy that link and paste that into my LMS, or I can post it in a different location. So that's essentially how to create a topic. Moving back, again, up here we can always change any of these features, and we can export information as well. Last year I used this to do a group presentation. So I had students get into small groups and they created a presentation, and then they were required to watch at least 2 other students. So this is the teacher dashboard and how I would look at their videos. I'm going to pull them up right here. And this is where I would grade their assignment. I can add to the rubric here. I can type feedback that will be immediately emailed to the student. And then I can also watch the student responses. Now, if this was an amazing video and it sparked a conversation, I can automatically create a new topic using this video. So if you're having a great conversation on Flipgrid, I highly recommend using the Spark conversation, and then you can share out that new topic with students. You can also add it to a mixtape. A mixtape is like the greatest hits of a particular Flipgrid. I've used this before when I asked students to create video valentines, and in that video valentine I watched their videos and then I starred a few and I added it to a mixtape. That mixtape was then shared live with students. Again, that blue share button is right there, and students were able to watch the highlights. It was a really fun way to celebrate student success. Now that I'm in my teacher dashboard, if I want to view this from a student perspective, you can click on this view button right here. This is exactly what students will see when they go to complete your assignment. So they'll be able to read the instructions. If this was a video, they would see that video. Here, this green plus button is where they add their own videos. And again, it prompts them to create that video right here. So as you can see, Flipgrid has so many different uses. It has a ton of different options, which can be a little overwhelming at first. My biggest recommendation is simply to try it out. Do a simple introduction activity with it, and then see what the possibilities are from there. Thanks so much for watching this Flipgrid video.